Hari Om Tat Sat. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Hare Paramatmane Pranata Kleshanashaya Govindaya Namo Namah. We were studying the different aspects of life, some of the problems. We began with anger, confusion, dullness, sadness, depression. If we study the root of the problem, then the root of the problem is avidya. Avidya, also we have been discussing for a while, consists of, it's not just the ignorance, but what is ignorance? Over here, avidya refers to avrana and mala. Avrana means covering. So if I put a curtain right here, so you don't see me, that is avrana. And the second one, mala. Mala refers to dirt, impurity. So once the curtain is put, and on the curtain, if I put something which is totally irrelevant, and we consider that as that irrelevant item, that part we will refer as a mala. So what is avidya? Avidya hides what is truth and it projects what is non-truth. In other words, we are awareness, but that is covered up and we are projected as this body, so that is avidya. Now let me take you to one or two slides and then we talk further about it. Avidya, and avidya seems to be the root cause. As soon as avidya comes, and there comes the body, there comes insufficiency, apurna. What is apurna? Meaning no matter what we have, that is not sufficient. So avidya leads to apurnata, unfulfillment, discontentment. And once when those discontentment and insufficiency comes into picture, we would like to have more and new. We would like to have more and new. And that is desire to have something which we don't have is kama. Kama doesn't mean that's the bodily need, but kama is something with which we satisfy our desire. And that desire is to take care of the insufficiency. Let us ask ourselves, we have tons of insufficiency. So what does it really mean? When a child is born and he cannot even walk, internally he may be desiring that he would like to crawl and walk. Parents would also like the child to grow. When the child grows, then parents think, okay, that insufficiency doesn't stop there, but then they would like to have more. Child to learn more, child to be an expert, brilliant. Still further and further and further and further. So understand how avidya leads to insufficiency, apurnata. Apurnata leads to kama, desire. And any of the activity once you do, we do all this activity with doership. As soon as you do the doership, karma follows. Karma means you are planting the seeds of no matter what you do with a doership. And then some point in time, those karma will come to the fruition. It will have to bear the fruits. So you will have to work accordingly. So to say, karma, kama, karma, phala, kama, karma, phala. Phala, the fruits of it, fruition. So if we trace back and go to avidya, and so far, toward the end, we are learning how to avoid avidya. We will also be learning it today. But before that, let us take some sloka that how avidya happens. We were studying how we mourn over the death. Then we studied that we are not transient, and the wise people do not worry about appearance and disappearance. Similar one or one or two more slok, and let us look at those. You may not hear it properly.
Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantara praptihi dhirastatra na mukhyati.
Dhira na tatra muhyati. Dhira, the wise people. So what does it say? Dehina, deha, body. Dehina, embodied, meaning when it takes the body, takes the form, asmin, in this way, yatha as, deha, as I just now mentioned, body, kaumaram, youth, youngness, childhood. Then yauvanam, the youth, jara, the old age. So the deha, our body, takes various forms. First, it takes the childhood, then becomes youth, and then it becomes old person. Or the jara, old age, suffering, diseases. Tatha dehant prapti, dhirastatra na muhyati. So body undergoes this kind of various stages. But the wise person does not think that way, or muhyati, suffer, being in dullness in the life, becoming sad. But the wise person just sees this. So in other words, here, Krishna, Bhagavan Shri Krishna is advising Arjuna that the wise person does this, meaning you do not repent over, but you be wise. And here we all would like to be Arjuna, we all would like to be led in this direction. And it reminds us, what it reminds us, that one undergoes all those changes. Understanding this kind of philosophy and putting it in the life makes the life so smooth. Whether for the others, I don't know, but at least for the sadhaka, at least for the aspirant, at least for the one who would like to walk on the path of dharma, on the path of spirituality. Remember, previously we have learned spirituality is a singular journey. And I remember a friend of mine, she called me once from the hospital and she was just talking and says, "Uncle, how are you?" This and that. And I said, "I'm doing great. How are you?" And she said, "I'm in the hospital." I said, "Come on, don't kid me." And she says, "No, I am." And I am, now understand her wisdom, I am on the edge. This side is life, this side is death. I said, "Come on, don't kid me. Let's be serious. First of all, where are you? Which hospital? Blah, blah, blah." Then she told me her blood has so many clots. Until those clots get filtered out or dissolved, and if one of that clot gets caught into the heart, done deal. If one of the clot gets caught in the brain, stroke. So you can understand how much of insecurity it is. But she could witness this as if she's seeing the smile. She's seeing the scene right in front of it as if it is happening to something else, somebody else. And at that time, she mentions to me, he says, "Uncle, I understand this. My children may not understand, but my husband for sure doesn't understand. So if next moment I don't talk to you, would you please attend to my husband and guide him?" Dear Namuyati, dear wise people like her, who understand, who knows it, who witnesses it, who has nothing to leave behind in this world, and she just moves on. Wisdom. And she has gone through Kaumarya, that is childhood, Yauvana, the youth, and Jara, the disease condition or the old age. She wasn't even much older, just 45, 50. Understanding this at this level, she has not only studied the Vedanta, what we are studying is Vedanta, Bhagavad Gita. And I will also earnestly, with my humble prayer, just do not listen and go home. Start contemplating on the word Muyanti, how I cannot grieve, how that girl could do and why not. Understanding this detail, dear friend, that's the reason we have selected only some sloka. We are not interested in memorizing all the 700 slokas, but we are just grabbing the essence of it. And we don't have even that much of time, understand? So to apply this and contemplate every day, every changes need to be seen and studied. On this level, let me share a story of a restaurant, because we do not welcome the changes, meaning from childhood to youth to jara or to the old age. And if we were to welcome, say, the old age, we would not have gone dyeing this hair. We would not have gone with the Botox injection, pulling out the wrinkles. Accepting the life the way it is. Now, this is a matter of just pulling out the wrinkle and not to look old. But remember that niece of mine, how brilliantly she was looking at her. Next moment, uncle, you and I may not be talking. She is that sure, but still she's not nervous. She does not want to shed a single tear, but she feels the responsibility that may her husband and children be guided. Never mind, coming back to that story of a restaurant. And after that story, even though we know the word prasad, we'll understand that word and how to accept the changes. So in that restaurant, it was a very high class, high power, high expensive restaurant. People were spending hundreds of dollars for their food. There was working a young girl who had also joined culinary school to become a chef. And to pay for the tuition, she was working here as a waitress. Now, when she came out of the restaurant, right outside on the sidewalk was sitting a homeless person begging for the food. And when she came to know tons of food being wasted will be thrown into the trash, she felt so bad that such a lovely, nice, delicious, expensive food we're throwing away. So somehow or other she could sneak and manage to get some food, put it in her purse and take it outside and give it to that homeless man. Homeless man was thanking her dearly. One day she thought that, boy, if I'm caught doing this, it will be a big trouble. Instead, why don't I cook myself and give it to him? So she somehow or other managed to, she was poor also. She didn't have money. So where is she going to buy the fresh ingredient and can cook? So she somehow or other was managing, I'm cutting the story short, she managed to get some vegetables and spices and in a little bag, she stole that, went home And she thought, let me cook whatever little that I have learned in the school and also in that restaurant I cook. She did. And then she walks back to, in a plate, what do we call, doggy bag type, the foam boxes. She took it to him. He ate that and he thought, oh my God, how delicious is this food? I have never tasted so far. And Sabhabada, the girl got caught, and initially the cook also was caught by the manager, the chief chef, and he was also to be fired. And when this girl walks in, the manager has a meeting. And he was so mad that why certain thing happened. Right at that time, the homeless man walks in. Understand the story now. The homeless man walks in. Everybody looks at him and says, such a decent restaurant? And this bum type looking person is walking in. And he went closer to the manager. Manager even looks at manager, didn't know what to say. And he takes out his old, ugly, dirty jacket. He takes out his wig. And that happens to be the owner of the restaurant. So that bum, the homeless guy, was truly not a homeless guy. He wanted to see how his restaurant is running. He wanted to hear, as the patrons walk out of it, what kind of food and what kind of discussion they have. And the chef, who was paid very decently, who could not cook as good as the girl did. So the girl was promoted to be the chief chef, and the chef was laid out. Now, I have cut so many corners in this story, but the thing to be understood is how the transition takes place, how the good heart pays off, and how initially one thinks that I will be fired because manager was so angry with so many people. And she was to go anyway for manager. But when the boss came in and boss promoted, people could not understand why she was promoted to, but only the boss knew. Because boss tasted her food. It's not how it was presented only. It's not how much it was charged, but she had the heart for the poor as well as heart for the patrons. People loved her. So instead of desiring more and treating any event that happens in your life, if we accept it as a blessing, prasad, it could be like my niece was talking about At this stage, I'm here, and the next moment I'm gone. That kind of instances. And see the girl, the waitress was thinking, oh my God, what will happen to my job? And once the job is not there, how am I going to pay the tuition for the culinary school? But instead, she walked on the path of Dharma. Oh, look, the word Dharma comes into picture. The very first word we learned, Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra. Huh? This was her Kurukshetra restaurant, her job, her culinary school. And in that, when she followed the Dharma, what her heart said, and she did better good, if you recall all those words. It is so wonderful to know. So toward the end, we'll be concluding with a couple of those words. That is avidya, karma, karma, blessing, prasad. When these are the words we have to keep on contemplating. Unless we contemplate and you place it in the different corners of our life, like my niece was placing the word dear, the wise person. She simply did not study the wise wisdom, but she implemented the wisdom. Not she first studied the wisdom, but wisdom became her quality, it came out to be her life. And that's why she wasn't unhappy, she wasn't sad, she wasn't feeling apurna. Apurna, understand the word. Insufficient, not totality, not fullness. So as we keep on changing from childhood, youth, old age. Kaumarya, Yauvana, Jara. You don't have to remember the Sanskrit word. Even whatever language you study, and if you implement this in your life, understand of the changes as it happens. And I'm not saying do not wear or don't wear makeup, but internally be aware that your body is undergoing changes. That's all. You can fool the rest of the world that you are not 50, you are barely 35. Doesn't matter. But the day you will fool yourself, that's where the problem will come, if it hasn't already come. Let me take you to one more equally beautiful sloka. Thank you, Mayan.
Sure.
Okay. So, again, as I mentioned, don't worry about the Sanskrit words. We'll learn the essence of it, as to what it meant. So first, matra sparshastu, matra sparsha, with our senses, like our eyes, ear, nose, tongue, taste. With these, we are sensing the outside object. Who he is referring to? Kaunteya. Kaunteya is son of Kunti. Shita, cold. Ushna, hot. Sukha, dukkha. Sukha, happiness. Dukkha, unhappiness. Agamapayino, anityamsta, titikshasva bharata. So what it says here, Kaunteya, the son of Kunti, Stita, Shita, winter, Usma, as I told you, Shita, Usna, the hot heat, or summer. Sukha, happiness, dukkha, distress, unhappiness. Agama, they come and they go. Apayina, anitya. Anitya, non-nitya, permanent. Means not. Anitya, transient, temporary. Then, titikshva, tolerate, bear it. Don't be concerned. Do not get carried away. Bharata, descendant of the Bharat, meaning the Bharat happened to be Arjun's great-great-great-grandfather. So, once again, I will read it to you. He is addressing, Bhagavan Sri Krishna is addressing Bharat, or the Kamteya, Arjuna, saying that the sense organ can bring you the sensation like summer and winter, happiness and unhappiness. They come and go. They come and they go. Just bear it, just look at it as a change of space. Just understand that how the different stages in a drama on the stage come and go. Do not get attached emotionally. Do not feel sadness or feel happy, depending upon what you like and what you don't. Somebody likes winter, somebody likes summer. But do not get attached to. Titikshan, welcome, tolerate. Tolerate the winter, tolerate the summer, and then go ahead. A friend of mine was visiting from the East Coast, and he said that Irvine looks so beautiful, all greenery all over 24 hours and 365 days. But he says, I like New York also. When the winter comes, it is fully covered with snow, and everybody has to wear the overcoat and hat and gloves. These are the changes. But in Swamiji, you don't see this in Irvine or in California. So he was welcoming the changes. That doesn't mean we don't welcome it. But the point is, the changes. And in the previous Sloka, we study what? From childhood to youth to Jara, the old age. And this changes. Today, certain food that you get may be of your liking. Tomorrow it may not be. But if you take that as prasad, as a gift of God, prasad means gift of God, blessing of God. And if you are a little bit allergic to the word God, take it as a divinity or a universe, or it happens. But when we accept that, then we become dear, we become wise, we become centered, we become unshakable, equipoise. The word yoga literally means that. Joining with our true nature. And our true nature awareness, consciousness, Atma, is unaffected. Only thing gets affected is the body with these five senses and mind, and it start acting with the organs of action. And then mind once again feels it. If it happens to be what you wanted, then you feel happy. If it does not happen what you wanted, you become sad or gloom. So understanding this feature, understanding these changes, applying this external as well as what is happening to our body. Of course, our body is also kind, you can call it an external appearance. Now that manifestation form will change. And that preparation, one has to start from now onward. Whatever stage we are on, that detail we have to observe. We have to learn from every story. And I think last time or the time before, we were also learning that when we are going to the funeral places, don't think that that soul has left the body. Think today is him or her, tomorrow is you. And am I seeing this as changes? Am I seeing this as Kaumarya, Yauvana, and Jara? Am I seeing this as childhood, youth, and old age? Am I seeing this as a waitress, a laid-off waitress, and one could not even go to her culinary school and pay the tuition? And also we are seeing her as the chief chef. And the one who was chief chef, next moment he's laid off. And as everybody understood that person to be the homeless, was he homeless? This kind of changes will happen in the life. And we have to accept that as prasad, unless and until we take something and learn from it. And as Bhagavan Shri Krishna is addressing to Kamteya or Bharata, that is Arjun, those words, because since we're going to study Bhagavad Gita for a while, some of those words be aware of, so that don't think that, oh my God, who is that guy, Kamteya now? Okay. So Krishna is addressing with love different things, different qualities. And Arjuna is nothing but us undergoing anger, anxiety, depression. Very beautiful character. There is not a single sloka that so-called speaks of any religion. No. This is our day-to-day life, 100% applicable. And this sloka are so full, so profound, so deep, with this loaded, livable life philosophy. When I say livable, these are not some ideas floating in the air. No, this is our life, day-to-day life. So just to summarize this, we began with a learning avidya, ignorance, and it's not just the ignorance, it's covering up the reality and painting over with some different mala so that we will never know the reality. But you are real, understand, this is just the covering. But the time when you will not know the reality and you will study the impermanence, then karma will come into picture, karma, the desire, because you will feel insufficiency. As soon as you feel that you want something, check yourself. Is it not the product of avidya? As soon as you realize yourself to be fully contented one, you want nothing. So karma, and as soon as the karma comes with a doership, it brings you the karma. So karma and karma, our whole life is intertwined with this. So bear in mind and try to study. That doesn't mean you will not enjoy the fruits of the karma. You have no choice. But that too, when you observe the fruits, take it as prasad. The girl was afraid of her culinary school, her waitress job. Her waitress job went, but the chief chef job came to her. Change, prasad, the gift. One could be better or one could be worse. Better and worse we define. But every work needs to be done. Chief chef work is equally needed as that of a waitress. Chief chef can cook excellent item, but if he could not bring it to the dining table, what good it is? And the waitresses are ready to bring the food to the dining table, but if the chief chef doesn't cook well or cook at all, what waitress can bring it? So manager is needed, waiters is needed, chef is needed, owner is also needed. So this is Kurukshetra. And everybody has to do better good Dharmakshetra. With this, dear friend, if you have any question, I will take. If not, I will meet you. You can turn on if you have question. If not, we will be brief and try to put your own question, not a question from a book. Hari Om. Anybody? Wait.
Yeah. Namaste. Just thinking, it is sometimes things happen the way we don't want to, like accident or anything like that. How to take that is a good thing to happen, or that is okay, things will pass by like that, which may be not small thing, bigger things. How that sort of thing should be handled, I'm thinking how we can handle nicely without getting impacted. Yeah.
That is what the whole 14th sloka is. Hitosruna, meaning cold and hot. meaning your car may run today, tomorrow may not run well. These are just an instrument. Don't expect car to run like brand new every day. And some crazy person may not run you into an accident. Happens. When it happens, but how equipoised, how balanced, content you are. Okay, happened to the car. What next? Okay. Yes, that is what is to be learned. That is the sadhana, by the way. You can continue do puja. You can continuously keep on chanting God's name. But this is true application. Good question, though. Anybody else?
Thank you.
Maheen.
I have a situation that has happened last 10 days, which is my mother fell, hit her head, and she's been hospitalized for 5 days, and now she's in rehab trying to make her move again. Anyway, I go and visit her almost every day, and this is my question for you. How do you deal with that emotion when you are there and you see her helpless? And I wish she had died, but she didn't. So it's a bad situation for her. But how should I feel? How should I handle that? When I go there, it drains me, and when I come home, I try to make sense of it, which of course the sense is that we come and we go, but it affects you.
It does. It affects you because we have not yet reached to the point of equipoise. We are not taking winter and summer both equally. We have not taken the Kaumarya, Yavan, and Jara, meaning childhood, adulthood, and old age. These are some of the events in the old age will take place, yes.
But when you're talking about the fall or the winter and summer and all those different times of our life, but when she's in that, right now, say she's in the winter, but what I'm saying, she probably doesn't feel that's gonna be.
Your voice get chopped, sorry.
And God knows how long that's gonna be. So I'm asking a question. My question is that how do I handle it?
Okay. The point is, today is she, tomorrow it can be you. Okay. And this, we do not want to build the bridge once when there is a flood. Okay. And it is difficult, I understand, but the preparation need to be done how to be equipoised. Start observing every instance around you as hot and cold happens. That's all. And it teaches you as if you are sitting in the audience and the drama is being performed. So treating life as a drama.
Okay.
Okay.
So basically, you have to watch it and not respond or get very much involved or not get emotional about it.
Correct. And detach from the relationship.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Chris.
Adios.
Chris, any question?
Yes, I have a question. How to get to the point, following up on what Maheen was talking about, how do you get to that situation of equipoise? How do you get to that position where things don't distract you, don't upset you? And I'm thinking that perhaps one of the ways of doing that is through doing meditation, breathing, those kinds of processes, because you can't do it with your mind, because your mind will always control and make you fearful or happy, going back and forth, like ping pong.
Beautiful, Chris. I'm so proud of you. And that's what long time back we have studied, and many times we have studied. What we have studied, don't think with mind, but think of mind as to how monkey mind behaves. Okay, very good.
And observe it, and observe.
Just observe,
Observe.
observe. All right.
Thank you.
Anybody else, dear friends? Let's be brief. Jagannath, Alicia, Vijay, Sujata, Lakshanti people, Naina, Jayshree, Suresh, and Vyomesh. If you don't have anything, stay well and continue contemplation. And next week, we'll have some more sloka. But again, I'm saying, don't go home and turn on the TV. Do whatever you want to do, but please contemplate every word. Yes, Bindu.
Tonyji? Yeah, for Mahi, I don't know this works for you, Mahi, but when things don't go well, I mean, you're in the situation where you're helpless. What I have done is I always tell myself I'll do my best, and then I'll leave. I pray. I leave everything to God. So, and I pray for that person. So, hopefully that will help you.
Bindu,
Thank you.
Bindu, very good suggestion. Suresh Bhai, do you have any question? Your light is turning on.
No, Hari Om.
Hari Om, Prabhu. So, everybody have a good day or good night. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.